Welcome to the Books Bible Study. We are continuing with Exodus chapter 26, verse 1 reads, Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine woven linen and blue, purple, and scarlet thread. With artistic designs of cherubim, you shall weave them. Verse 2, The length of each curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. And every one of the curtains shall have the same measurements. So each one of the curtains would be 42 feet by 6 feet, right? So there would be 10 curtains, 42 feet by 6 feet each. Verse 3, 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another, and the other 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another. So one set of 5, right, would be sewn together to make one larger curtain, and the other set of 5 to make the other larger curtain. So now there are 2 sets, right? Instead of the individual 6 foot by 42, now you're adding all of those 5 of them together to make 2 larger sets of curtains. Verse 4 says, And you shall make loops of blue yarn on the edge of the curtain, on the selvage of one set, and likewise you shall do on the outer edge of the other curtain of the second set. Right, so now we have 2 larger curtains made from the original 10, right? So each one, now that there's 2, each one is about 30 feet by 42 feet. And so on each one of those 2, you will make the loops, right, of blue yarn. Verse 5 says, 50 loops you shall make in the one curtain, and 50 loops you shall make on the edge of the curtain that is on the end of the second set, that the loops may be clasped to one another. Verse 6, And you shall make 50 clasps of gold, and couple the curtains together with the clasps so that it may be one tabernacle. So now you're taking the 2 different sets, putting them together by clasps, right? So, verse 7, You shall also make curtains of goat's hair to be a tent over the tabernacle. You shall make 11 curtains. So, you already have the tabernacle part, right? They're together with golden clasps, and now you're going to make the tent out of 11 curtains, and he's going to tell them exactly how to do it. So verse 8 says, The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. And the 11 curtains shall all have the same measurement. So the tent over the tabernacle is 45 feet by 6 feet. So it's a little larger, right? Verse 9, and you're going to kind of do the same thing. And you shall couple 5 curtains by themselves, right? And then 6 curtains by themselves. And you shall double over the 6th curtain at the forefront of the tent. Verse 10, You shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in one set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain of the second set. So the same way that you did the first set, except these are longer, right? And also you're going to have 6 on one and 5 on the other side. So verse 11, And you shall make 50 bronze clasps, put the clasps into the loops, and couple the tent together that it may be one. Verse 12, The remnant that remains of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the back of the tabernacle. Verse 13, And a cubit on one side and a cubit on the other side of what remains of the length of the curtains of the tent shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side to cover it. So the tabernacle should be completely covered. Verse 14 says, You shall also make a covering of ram skins dyed red for the tent, and a covering of badger skins above that. Verse 15, And for the tabernacle you shall make the boards of acacia wood, standing upright. Okay. Verse 16, 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the width of each board. So the boards are 15 feet tall and 2 1/4 feet wide. Verse 17, 2 tenons shall be in each board for binding one together. Thus you shall make for all the boards of the tabernacle. Verse 18, so any builders or architects know what's happening right now, right? Verse 18 says, and you shall make the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards for the south side. Verse 19, you shall make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under each of the boards for its 2 tenons. So these 15 feet boards formed the walls of the tabernacle. Okay, verse 20, and for the second side of the tabernacle, the north side, there shall be 20 boards. 21, and there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under each of the boards. Verse 22, for the far side of the tabernacle westward, you shall make 6 boards. Verse 23, and you shall also make 2 boards for the 2 back corners of the tabernacle. Verse 24, they shall be coupled together at the bottom, and they shall be coupled together at the top by 1 ring. Thus it shall be for both of them. They shall be for the 2 corners. Verse 25, so there shall be 8 boards with their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under each of the boards. Verse 26, and you shall make bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the tabernacle. Verse 27, 5 bars for the boards on the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the board on the side of the tabernacle for the far side westward. Verse 28, the middle bar shall pass through the midst of the boards from end to end. So these walls were not only fashioned by sockets, right? They were also reinforced by these bars, right? So very sturdy, heavy walls. Verse 29 says, you shall overlay the boards with gold, make their rings of gold as holders for the bars, and overlay the bars with gold. More weight, right? Verse 30, and you shall rise up the tabernacle according to its pattern which you were shown on the mountain. Verse 31, you shall make a veil woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen. It shall be woven with an artistic design of cherubim. Verse 32, you shall hang it upon the 4 pillars of acacia wood overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be gold, upon 4 sockets of silver. Verse 33, and you shall hang the veil from the clasp. Then you shall bring the ark of the testimony in there behind the veil. The veil shall be a divider for you between the holy place and the most holy, right? So now we see the separation of rooms by the veil. So you have the holy place, right? And then the most holy place, 2 separate places. And you'll learn why these are 2 separate places. Verse 34, you shall put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy. So the ark of the covenant and the mercy seat that we read about was built in the last chapter, right? This goes into the most holy place, right? The ark of the covenant and the mercy seat goes behind the veil, okay? Verse 35 says, you shall set the table outside the veil. So this is where? In the holy place, not the most holy place. So the table is outside the veil, right? In the holy place. And the lampstand across from the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. And you shall put the table on the north side. Verse 36, you shall make a screen for the door of the tabernacle, woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen made by a weaver. And keep in mind that all of these things is gold, silver, bronze, the colors, the thread. These things were all offerings to God. Okay? Verse 37. And you shall make for the screen 5 pillars of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Their hooks shall be gold, and you shall cast 5 sockets of bronze for them. So the commandments in this chapter, they're not new commandments or extra commandments, right? They fall under the build me a sanctuary or a tabernacle commandment, right? So these are not separate commandments. We're adding this under the build me a sanctuary commandment. And also remember, they are not in the promised land yet, right? So whenever they move, they're having to undo all of this work, right? And take all of this with them and set it back up exactly how God instructed them to. So I think it's very important that Moses had all of the information so they could know exactly how to take down, how to put it back up, right? And so that concludes Exodus chapter 26. We'll see if they're going to do some more buildings, some more rooms in Exodus chapter 27, but stick with us. God bless.